The Kremlin responded to Trump's statement about the theft of blueprints for a super-duper rocket. Russia did not steal super-duper missile from U.S., says Kremlin spokesman. Putin's top priest says nuclear weapons are divine providence. French intelligence suspects Russia is behind bedbug hysteria.
Los Angeles FC considers buying Swiss team Grasshopper Zurich. Bud Light rejoins UFC with record sponsorship deal, sources say. In Canada, Diamond and Diamond files class action suit against York University and York Federation of Students, as York University Students' Union named in $15 million lawsuit, alleging decades of anti-Semitic campus incidents. Visitors to UK who incite anti-Semitism will be removed, says Minister.
Verizon loses 79k TV subs in third quarter, adds broadband users. BBC will not broadcast Attenborough episode over fear of right-wing backlash.
Kurt Cobain's daughter Frances Bean reportedly marries Tony Hawk's son Riley, with REM's Michael Stipe officiating. John Stamos begged to leave Full House and rejected Nip Tuck after Rebecca Romaine called it demeaning to women. New memoir reveals. The terminal list actor Cedric Jones is dead at 46, in sudden incident leaving wife and 3 kids in shock. Jean-Claude Van Damme claims he missed out on Fast and Furious franchise because Vin Diesel said, "No, I don't want him." Martin Scorsese can't speak on Quentin Tarantino's retirement because he is built differently, as Tarantino's a writer. Sofia Coppola wants audience to judge either Elvis Presley a monster in Priscilla movie. Trump's lawyers demand fraud trial stopped because of a COVID-19 risk. Official letters to government departments must be in Malay, says Malaysia's PM Anwar. Lords of the Fallen's total budget exceeded $66 million, making it most expensive title in CI Games history. Dreams and Little Big Planet game studio, Media Molecule is reportedly laying off 15 to 20% of staff. The GTA 6 age rating is fake, and the launch date is a mystery, classification board confirms. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster launches exactly 29 years after the original.
California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, proposes to block rooftop solar for renters, farms, and schools. Global shift to clean energy means fossil fuel demand will peak soon, IEA says, as world oil, gas, coal demand to peak by 2030. Russia is buying engines from China's AliExpress to make quick and dirty drones that are proving lethal, Ukraine says. Ukraine forms battalion with Russian citizens opposed to Kremlin. Canada's Air Force will have to wait even longer to get armed drones, Defense Department says. Malaysia's RMAF sends first group of officers to South Korea for the FA-50 Block 20 project.
Hamas operatives used phone lines installed in tunnels under Gaza to plan Israel attack over 2 years, sources familiar with intelligence say. Israeli flyers dropped on Gaza offer cash for intel on hostages. All 3 Italians missing after Hamas attack are dead, Rome says. Netanyahu got all the warnings, says former head of Israeli military intelligence.
Anti-Hamas sentiments grow in Iran as Israel becomes more popular. 26 killed by suspected Islamist militants in Congo machete attack. Google Maps disables live traffic data in Israel, Gaza at Israeli military's request.
Israel demands UN chief resign after UN chief Antonio Guterres says Hamas massacre didn't happen in a vacuum. Israel's military tells UN in Gaza, ask Hamas for fuel. As IDF says, Gaza photos show 500,000 liters of fuel held by Hamas. Lebanon's Hezbollah chief meets Hamas, Islamic Jihad officials. Israel to refuse visas to UN representatives over Guterres' speech on Gaza war. U.S. terror finance chief urges Gulf nations to sanction Hamas financiers, warns of enabling instability. Reportedly, U.S. and Gulf nations target secret Hamas investment portfolio, worth up to $1 billion. White House says a ceasefire would only benefit Hamas. Saudi Crown Prince tells Biden, Israel normalization can resume after war. In India, 14 kids infected with HIV, hepatitis after blood transfusion in Uttar Pradesh's hospital. An investigation has been opened into the death of a scientist who was studying a prion disease in Spain. Poison specialist and former medical resident at Mayo Clinic is charged with poisoning his wife, 14 years old, who invented soap to treat skin cancer, named America's top young scientist.
South Africa risks 15k deaths by 2050 if green transition delayed, claims study. BC aiming for 100% zero-emission vehicle sales, 5 years earlier than planned. Doing laundry by hand sheds just as many microfibers as machine washing, as per research. Poland's Tusk visits Brussels, seeking initiative in repairing ties with EU and unlocking funds. Spain's ruling socialists and the left-wing alliance signed a coalition deal. Sweden wants to end confusion with Switzerland, Swedish tourist board declares.
Norway's wealth fund posts $34 billion loss in Q3 2023. Indians lead the list for immigrants getting citizenship in wealthy nations. Egypt's Minister of Immigration says Egyptians' remittances abroad will decline by $9.8 billion in 2023. Finland says gas pipeline likely broken by ship dragging anchor. Chinese ship that crossed gas pipeline is missing anchor, reportedly in the photo. Lukoil chairman dies suddenly, second in just over a year.
Bomb threat involving food delivery robots at Oregon State University proved to be a prank. Off-duty pilot may have been on psychedelic mushrooms when he tried to shut off plane engines, FBI says. Celine Dion siren battles are leaving New Zealand locals sleepless.
Cybersecurity breach on Okta's support systems wipes out more than $2 billion in market cap. Okta's latest hack fallout hits Cloudflare, 1Password, 23andMe notifies customers of data breach into its DNA relatives feature. Web3 platforms reportedly could improve user experience with insurance from security breaches. Steve Jobs biographer Walter Isaacson says Apple will be the company most hurt if economic tensions between US and China escalate. 41 US states sue Meta for allegedly addicting kids to Facebook and Instagram. Instagram linked to depression, anxiety and insomnia in children, lawsuit against Meta claims. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella admits giving up on Windows Phone and mobile was a mistake. More children are associated with poorer health in later life, especially for chronic conditions and depression. Contact with a service dog might help individuals with PTSD sleep better, study finds. New findings suggest a dose adjustment is needed for buprenorphine treatment amid the fentanyl crisis. Vestibular pathways eliciting motion sickness responses and identify a key role for cholecystokinin expressing vestibular neurons. 14 days human embryo research urged to be extended limit to 28 days, says ethicist. Spider-Man 2 had 2.5 million copies sold in 24 hours. Nintendo shocks competitive fans with strict new community tournament guidelines. World of Warcraft reveals Prime Gaming reward for November. Pedophiles using AI to turn singers and film stars into kids. Artists can fight back against AI by killing art generators from the inside through data poisoning tool. Baby images on nappy packages in Europe are showing unsafe sleeping practices, new study finds.
Japan's top court says trans sterilization requirement unconstitutional. Vasectomies up by 100% in post-Roe world, according to Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis, Missouri region. 2 and 3 Canadian youth say sex education class did not make them feel prepared for sex, as per report. Texas Republicans ban women from using highways for abortion appointments.
Samsung Galaxy S23 hacked twice on first day of PWN2 in Toronto. Google falsely flags Samsung apps as harmful, tells users to remove them.
Hurricane Otis has weakened to a Category 4 storm, but is still delivering life-threatening conditions to southern Mexico. Lenders foreclose on Canada's tallest residential real estate project after $1.35 billion default. Millions of smart meters will brick it when 2G and 3G turns off. California Governor Gavin Newsom test drove by Jiangwang U8 in China. California sidelines GM Cruise's driverless cars, cites safety risk, as California DMV says. Cruise did a video of the crash in San Francisco, suspends driverless car firms' permits. Over air, to deliver 20 eVTOL aircraft for South Korea air taxi flights and police. China outs yet another national as U.S. spy, says he was groomed during visiting scholar stint. Former NSA worker pleads guilty to trying to sell U.S. secrets to Russia. Germany to pass Japan as third largest economy, helped by weak yen. Germany's economy ministry plans €50 billion boost for the industry. Bank of Spain expects Spanish economy to grow faster than Eurozone in 2023 to 2025. Honda Prelude returns as a sporty coupe, this time with EV power. Ford drops the hybrid option from Explorer and Lincoln Aviator lineups, For 2024, Nissan unveils all-electric, high-performance Nissan Hyperforce concept at Japan Mobility Show.
New BMW 5 Series Touring coming to the US, only as an M5. Tesla warns that a federal probe into whether it exaggerated the range of its cars may lead to a material adverse impact on our business. Massive Attack guitarist Angelo Bruciani, 62, has passed away, following a battle with rare and aggressive lung cancer. Lululemon founder Chip Wilson takes 2 popular longevity drugs and flies to Mexico for stem cell injections to try to stave off his muscular dystrophy.
Richard Roundtree dies. Shaft star was 81. Daniel Radcliffe executive produced documentary about his stunt double, left paralyzed after Deathly Hallows accident, titled David Holmes, The Boy Who Lived. Ho Xiaoxian is retired from filmmaking due to dementia. Apple Pay later officially launches in US, following early access period. Slack gets rid of its X integration.
Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite is able to beat Apple M2 Max and Intel i9 in ARM's race for Windows laptops. Apple backs push for U.S. right to repair law and plans to make parts more accessible. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 announced. 2024's Android phones get a major AI boost.
Motorola is back with another slap bracelet phone concept. Chinese augmented reality firms Real launches next-generation glasses in challenge to Meta and Apple. Carbon-neutral Apple Watch claims, rejected as bogus, term will be banned in Europe.
UK Space Agency and Axiom Space sign agreement on plans for historic human spaceflight mission. For the first launch of EULA's Vulcan rocket, it's Christmas or next year. China adds Belarus as partner for ILRS, International Lunar Research Station Moon Base. Brandon Lewis, former Tory chairman, to join firm founded by sanctioned Russian billionaires. London's bankers can make unlimited bonuses again, as UK axes cap.